in Waika room, the first mango had worms. Trying the second, it also had worms. Guess what I did? I decided to switch off the light.
And you slept.
Over to you, Rotarian Barbara.
Thank you, Rotarian Chovi. And let's have Rotary information from Rotarian Marietta.
Barbara, I'm still laughing. So he decided to eat the mangoes with the worms without the light. Rotarian Trevor, you're hilarious. Thank you so much for that Rotary moment. Good morning, Rotarians on call and guests and friends of Rotary. It's always a pleasure to have you join us this morning or night, depending on where you're calling in from. Just a little bit of housekeeping. I want again to reiterate the gratitude to the members who participated in the project at the Naguru Remand home the weekend before. We are still continuing with the project. We launched our Bello project there. And one of the resolutions is that we would continue supporting the remand home to make sure that the children there have continuous support with their literacy. We are calling upon E-clubbers who want to volunteer their time to go and read storybooks to the children. We are going to come up with a program for that, but as well we'll welcome contributions so that other, more regular volunteers can go there and support these children to turn into honorable citizens. So when we do reach out to you, please hearken to this outcry. So thank you for those members. We have an induction preparation for the induction ongoing. We have prospective members who want to join E-club. Please note that we'll be having trainings every Tuesday evening as we prepare for induction next month. So if you're a prospective member, please save on your calendar and make sure that you participate in these meetings and get to know, and also go to visit other clubs so that you can be well acquainted with what Rotary does before you are considered for induction on the 7th. Thirdly, President, is I think as some of us may already be aware, the 98th DISCON is here. So this Rotary District Conference is an opportunity for us to network, to check out the tourism destinations in Uganda. Some of us haven't traveled much within the country. So this is an opportunity. It will be 4 days of connecting with thousands of Rotarians from districts 9214 and 9213. There are going to be safaris and tours in Western Uganda's finest tourism destinations. Of course, amazing talks and presentations from experts in various fields. And again, non-stop fun. Basically, a district conference like no other just here in Barara. So we do call upon all Rotarians to please register now. The link is rotarydiscon.org. Please register and book your slot. Lastly, there's a call for what is known as the Rotary Youth Exchange Program. This is an annual program that is targeting, and it's only open to students aged 15 to 17 years. The next program is opening in July 2023. That is next year. But the application deadline for the program is 31st December. Please do reach out to these teenagers to apply. They need to put up a good application, so they need time. So that's why the application is open way earlier. So these teenagers, though, the 15 to 17-year-olds, must be recommended by a Rotary club. So E-club can recommend and any other club. So as you encourage, we are the ones to recommend them. There will be 1-year tuition funding, there's host family care, there's air ticket and insurance. It's pretty a good package. More information will be shared on our in-house pages and the link where you can apply. I'll stop here for now. May you enjoy the fellowship. Over to you, Barbara, or to AP Caesar.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rotarian Marietta, my sister. And now Rotarian Lynn, the ball is in your court to introduce our guest speaker.
Before Rotarian Liz goes, I'd like to just pass on a comment. Rotarians and friends, E-club of Ntinda and all other clubs. I just wanted to mention that it's way past time for us Rotarians to pay our dues. Dues are your obligation as a Rotarian, whether you're in E-club or in any other club. So I want to pass on a shout out to everyone that has not yet paid their dues. Please, you're letting your club down. It's your obligation to pay your dues as your Rotarian. Please, please, please make sure you are in good standing as far as your dues are concerned. Because when you don't pay your dues, you're pulling your club back. I see that CP Mark also has some Rotary information. If you can quickly go, we are 15 past the hour.
Thank you so much, amazing President Caesar. I'll be brief like a coin. Next Friday, the 23rd of September, we shall have the annual Kalisoliso dinner with, the Abe Mishivis, and to be at Kalanoga Resort, and all the monies will be used to rehabilitate and facilitate the Rotary Nkosi Accident and Trauma Center. Table goes for 3 million, while individual tickets are paying 300,000. And MD Jen hopes most of us show up. Thank you so much, amazing President Caesar, and that all those below 17 who will apply for the Rotary Youth Scholarship.
Thank you, CP Mark. FYI, your Rotary picture, you may qualify for the Rotary Youth. Back to you, Rotarian Barbara, to introduce the guest.
Thank you, AP. Rotarian Lynn, can you please introduce our guest?
Thank you very much, Rotarian Barbara. Good morning, Rotarians, Rotaractors, and guests on call. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome our special guest speaker.
Best, have fun, destroy food, music, you would have a massive blast. Man, that was real. But what about your first day of school? I know it was ages ago, but whether it was primary or secondary, who are your tightest buddies and your best classmates? Can you even remember their names? Do you have all their pictures? What were some of their nicknames? You know, we did all sorts of things, made mistakes that we can even laugh at now, but all these things help define us as we matured. You know, the human brain has the capacity to store all these memories and up to 2.5 million gigabytes of information. Now that's equivalent to close to over 2,500 laptop computers. That is really awesome. But what's even more amazing is that emotionally charged memories that made us cry or even made us laugh are easier to remember and can even be kept for longer. So whether it's friends or our family history, it can be stored. I found out that my grandfather was one of the first game rangers in Uganda, and another grandfather even fought in the World War. Now, who could have also known that decades ago, 2 students from Ntare School would end up being presidents of neighboring countries in East Africa? What are the odds? Is there even a picture that can even evidence this from way back? So whatever the experience or the memory, we never know when we will need it or how important it may probably become. And that's why we tell these stories. However, what happens when we grow older and our memories start to fail, or when we are no longer there? Every single story, thought, image, laugh, experience, and every single engagement gone, forgotten. All because only you have kept it in your mind. As we journey through time, we can all be sure that one day we will be called by the Lord to leave this earth. But again, how important is it for us to leave a legacy or information that can be shared with future generations? And we started to answer that question with an idea that we were blessed with called the Digital Yearbook. Welcome to the Digital Yearbook. Our commitment is to capture, save, and share memories. Memories from years ago in school or just yesterday. Each day that passes, we learn, we grow, we create relationships, and we change. It's important to not allow impactful people and important moments to be lost in time. For institutions, every year, we work like clockwork. We'll archive photos of the infrastructure, staff, all the students, school clubs, associations, and management annual videos. The digital yearbook will then provide each individual with the choice of either a DVD of all the photos or a hard copy magazine of the year's photos. In addition to the highest quality photos and drone videos of the school, we create an awesome institution webpage at www.thedigitalyearbook.com, profiling interesting aspects of the school ranging from notable students, culture, history, inspirational videos, to a database of alumni profiles. Wherever you are, the Digital Yearbook will be there for you, helping you safeguard memories from yesterday and today for tomorrow. In 2017, when God blessed us with that innovation, little did we know that there would be a greater need than just institutions of learning. Currently, we're working on family life legacy projects. We've also got a new project called the Music Legacy Yearbook for Uganda. But again, as Rotarians, as much as we are called to serve above self, Rotary started in a land far, far away, many moons ago, in a place called America. Almost something like 100 years ago, on February 23rd, 1905, there was this man, this Bukuba, this Omunene called Mr. Paul Harris. You know, he got together with some of his friends, you know, just like me calling you fellow villagers. He called them all together in the city and in a place called Chicago. And they formed the first Rotary Club of Chicago, where many people who have like minds, who are professionals, and they come from different backgrounds, some of them hunters, tree climbers, farmers, you know, these different backgrounds. They got together and they exchanged ideas and they formed meaningful lifelong relationships. It's like what we're doing here, sitting around this fireplace and sharing stories. And you know, as time went along, Rotary's reach and vision gradually started to evolve to humanitarian service, where Rotarians cared for communities all over the world. And now, it is a massive global network of over 1.4 million volunteers who impact lives in over 200 countries, making a difference in the world, one community at a time. It's critical for us to share our stories so that the world can see how much more we can do if more of us stand together to make a difference in communities that are in need from all around the world. Welcome to the Rotary E-club of Ntinda special digital online presentation entitled, Who is Telling My Story? A proud Rotarian with decades of experience in events moderation, marketing, communications, public speaking, and above all, telling other people's story. Please welcome our guest speaker today, Dr. Mitch Egwang.
Hi. Morning, Rotarians, Rotaractors, and friends of Rotary. It's an honor being here. Real honor. Thank you so much, President Caesar, and to everybody from the E-club of Ntinda. You know, telling stories has always been something that I think from the earliest time has been one of my fortes. My mother told me that I was a late bloomer and I started speaking late. I think I started probably when I was only two and a half, but she said that when I started talking, I couldn't shut up. So what I like to do is to dive straight into the story and to take you through a very interesting presentation and then probably leave room for engagement afterwards. This presentation is one which I think is critical because, you know, telling stories is why we're here, because we all have experiences, and these experiences today are our present, but tomorrow they're going to become our past. And it's so important for us to know where we're coming from, because you see, in the future, if we repeat the mistakes that we made today, then actually we are wasting resources and we're wasting time. If you look at organizations, if you look at even families, if each and every single person had to learn from scratch without benefiting from the experiences, I think somebody put it really nicely before that, I would love to be able to benefit from the value of your experience, but not feel your pain. So that's what I'd like us to do. Take a couple of seconds and understand what is the importance of actually telling stories. And this is something we found out a little bit late in life. And I'd like to share a very interesting one. As Rotarians, we have objectives. And we asked ourselves, what are we supposed to be doing on this earth? When I was, I think 30 or 40, many people said, dude, you should join Rotary. It's about time. Why don't you become part of a club? And I thought I was too busy. And it's because probably I didn't understand what the objective of Rotary was. So coming back and understanding that as Rotarians, you see, for many people who are probably guests and who haven't gone through what is the importance of Rotary, well, the thing is that as Rotarians, let's put it very simply. All we are supposed to do is each of us find some way of trying to impact communities through something which we call service projects. You know, just doing something to help somebody around you. And we've got so many different focus areas. And I'm sure we've talked about them, you know, from the environment, from water and sanitation, education. There's so many ways that we can impact as Rotarians. However, the challenge came up when I asked myself, so how many are we and how much impact are we supposed to have? So the shocking statistic is that as Rotarians, we are only 1.4 million Rotarians on this earth. Yet we are close to 8 billion people on the planet. So that means that for every individual, you've got 0.000175 people who are supposed to impact the guys around them. Is that a good statistic? I don't know. I don't know if we can make a lot of impact like that. So how can we, as Rotarians, first of all, tell people about what we are doing? Well, and this is where telling stories came in. And I think you saw that one of the last videos. That's a video that we put together at the last district conference. And it was telling the whole story of Rotary within 10 to 15 minutes. Now, President Caesar has given me only approximately 11 minutes now to be able to compress close to 20 years of information into what I think is important with storytelling. And I'd like to thank Rotarian Lino Dud, who happens to be my sister. And she said, look, is there any way that we can find, an exciting and captivating way of bringing this out? And I said, I think this is the time for me to share with you a concept that we've been working on for close to the last a year and a half. So I like to start, first of all, by saying, as Rotarians, we work in structures, and the structure that we have is what you call your Rotary Club. Now, your Rotary Club does so much great stuff. But if nobody knows about it, it's like having a beautiful, breathtaking, gorgeous, unbelievably captivating spouse, boyfriend or girlfriend, but only you see them. Or you're in a dark room, nobody knows who they are. So as a Rotary Club, that's how you're operating right now. You have probably raised billions of shillings, you've impacted thousands, potentially millions of people in different communities. But if I don't know about it, guess what? You're doing all sorts of great stuff. You've impacted that community, but so many other people could have become impacted, but you've not told them about it. And this is where storytelling comes in. So I'd like to introduce you to what we are calling the Rotary Legacy Project. And it's important because you see, a lot of us don't take time and energy into actually captivating and capturing audiences and then sharing the information afterwards. We do all sorts of great work, but a couple of months later, guess what? Gone, deleted. And the thing with Rotary is that Rotary is so awesome. We've got such a fluid transition system whereby every president will only stay in power for 1 year, then hand over seamlessly to the next one. And by the time one president is here, we know who's going to be the next one and the one after that. But 1 year sometimes makes it so difficult. You're so embodied and you're so involved in executing the projects of that year that you don't take time to look back. And I like to say, President Caesar, the E-club of Ntinda is in a very special position because as a young club, and you guys haven't even scratched 2 years, you're not like other clubs. Like my club is the Rotary Club of Kampala Sese Islands. We've done 32 years. And that's an immense amount of impact that we've had in communities around the country, particularly on Kalangala Island. But imagine now trying to capture all that information and sharing it. And there's so many pitfalls when it comes to storing information. People will say, oh, I had all my information, it was eaten by cockroaches. Oh, my hard disk has died. Guess what? There is a solution. And lo and behold, I'd like to share with you something that we've been working on at our club. And this is it. As a Rotarian, there's so many different things that you can do, but again, also that you must start taking stock of. Check, for example, look at your club name. Why did you choose the E-club of Ntinda? What's the value? What's the story behind it? Look at our club. The reason why we chose our club is that the original members came from an island. And there's so much other information that we thought is really important to us as Rotarians. Your charter information. Now that you've got close to 40 or 50 people, who are the first guys in your club? What about the identity of your club? Every single club, is extremely unique. Rotary Club of Kampala North is known. It's a serious club. They're what they call, I hear, DG makers. They have had the highest number of district governors that any other club has had. Rotary Club of Kampala says, these guys are vibrant. They've always got some sort of activity happening. Oh, the Rotary Club of Ntinda, man, those guys are cutting edge, always in the midst of some project. Golf today, here one. What is your club known for? What's your identity? But you see, the reason I'm telling you all of these things is that each of these things here is a potential story. It's something that you can capture and create and share. And not just share for today, but share for the future. Because how are you as a Rotarian going to impact people to join your club? How will I know the difference between your club and another one? In marketing, they talk about something called brand differentiators. There's something that makes me stand out from soda A and soda B. Oh, is it the fizziness? Oh, is it the flavor? Or is it the way it hits my tongue? What is it about the constitution and the makeup of your team? What about the fellowship history? So these are the different aspects of my club that I should be keeping. These are the stories that I should be telling. And it must be, one, an intentional project. Because a lot of times we're too busy with our things that we don't capture these memories. What about those differentiators? I talked about them, but then there's something called club cultures. Every single Rotary club is unique in the way they do things. I'll tell you an interesting experience. My club, you know, there are these urban legends and these myths. There's a guy. We call him a guy. We usually laugh and we grew up together with him. We worked together in the private sector. Rotarian Fred Masade. Now, he's a past president, and respectfully I say this, but he changed the entire narrative at our club. Back, there was a certain time when to attend a Rotary fellowship, you had to come in a tie, you had to wear suits. It was very uptight. But when he was being installed, he said, no. Sagala, bagay mwe. We're having a beach party. So he decided, no, let's do a beach hang. And everybody, all the elders were like, man, you are changing. This is not how Rotarians do things. But guess what? That was the breath of fresh air that the club needed to inject life into the club. And everybody was like, wow. And because of that, there was a total shift. What about the pictures that we all take? You know, because of digital, oh yes, everybody can take pictures now. But is there somebody whose job it is to archive and to keep all these things? What about your projects? You know that every single year, yes, we will have our signature projects. This year, we're focusing on BELEP. And yes, basic education literacy is important. But 5 years ago, what did your club do? As the E-club of Ntinda, you now have a chance to set a precedence and have a system which is intentional, which will capture each and every single thing. It doesn't have to be extensive. Just a one pager capturing every single thing, put it together, capture, do not lose. What about your partners, your sponsors? You know, it's great as Rotarians to do work, but you know, we don't work in isolation. We need people to be able to assist us. They say that if you want to go fast, you go alone, but if you want to go far, you go together. So you're going to reach out to individuals who are going to give you money, who are going to give you time, who are going to give you resources, but you must be able to appreciate these individuals. And how you appreciate them will ensure that they come back to you. Again, another thing is, oh, what about your members? Oh man, club members are an amazing part of the lifeline of your association. Each and every single one of them, past and present, has contributed to the DNA of your club. You must make sure that you capture their history, why they joined, who they are, the rest, man. There's so much. But again, also, you know, they say that all the fingers of a hand are not the same length. We've got certain club members who in our club whom we are proud to say, this is my club member. I rub shoulders. Like in my club, you know, I can proudly say that the General Katumba Wamala is my jama. We hang together. You people only see him on TV, but we are there bongering and we chill together. But what about flipping the script a bit. Internally, you've got your club members, but externally, you engage with communities. And these different communities, you have people who are going to benefit from the sacrifice and the contributions of different Rotarians around the entire country. Why can't you get some of these testimonials? Why can't you get these stories? It's an amazing thing. I'll challenge each and every single one of you to go on Google and try to see if you can get, even globally, a Rotarian association, a Rotary club, a Rotary club, who actually are intentional in promoting. We talk about this, and the DG has always been on our cases that we must be able to promote ourselves and to enhance our public image. But I don't think we're doing it enough. There's so much more potential. And who is the current board? Who is on it? Presidencies, I'd love to have seen all these individuals. And what about now? You see this session that we're having here. We've got all of these club talks. Imagine if you could do it on your website and create an archive of all the different speakers and do micro links to every single one of their presentations, starting from the time you started doing them. It would be an amazing resource for young members in the club and for individuals you're trying to convince to come to your club. What about the club activities? There's so many things that you do and you'd like to be able to capture. Our club has a massive annual agenda called Cheza na Frigo. So it's our way of being able to raise money, to create a lot of camaraderie, but again, also to get other clubs to stand together with us. And, you know, the Rotary Club of Chihuahua had the five-a-side, which is exciting. We are launching a new initiative also called the Rotary Pool Championship for guys who play pool. Man, there's so many things. But guess what? If you can't get these stories, if you can't tell them, who's going to be there to listen? It's very important for us to note that Rotary clubs don't just stay within the clubs. They go beyond the clubs. And when you decide that you'd like to be able to contribute more, they're what they call members who are going to be serving beyond the club. Can I take note of these guys? What about my club? What's the history? Where does it come from? A lot of clubs come from the original Arch Club, which meets at Sheraton, and then they moved out and they branched out. What's your family tree as your club? Who birthed you? So these are the questions that you'd like to ask. And these are questions that new members would want to know. So questions that if we don't put them together, I will challenge all of you and say, if I asked you to put everything in one place, give me all the information about your club. Very few clubs have this in a coordinated, integrated manner. What about your club stories? What about the legends? What things used to happen? Are you aware that in particularly in my club, way back, I think it was like 20 something years ago, it was not possible for women to join our Rotary Club, but things changed. So very importantly, what about the club statistics? How has the club grown year on year? If I want to join the E-club of Ntinda, do you have a guidebook? Are there things that we only do in a certain way? Because I know that certain clubs have a certain style. You can't do things this way. Are there stories? I'll mention I think it's Rotary Club of Mango Tree. Yeah, I think it's, yes, Kampala Mango Tree. These guys have a gentleman called Kalunji Kabuye. He joined Rotary a couple of months ago. Now the guy started writing interesting stories. Everybody's reading it. Can we get all those stories and put them up? Man, that's the kind of stuff which we need. And above all, stories that we don't want to forget is members whom the Lord takes. Look, we wouldn't be here if it hadn't been for our forefathers. So who was our charter president, our charter board? Where are all these stories? Who's telling these stories? And above all, man, our past presidents, man, our presidents, we give them reverence. They guide us. They work together with the district and they give us direction. We must be able to have all their profiles, their challenges, what they achieved in their years. Can we tell these stories? And above all, man, each and every single one of your club members, can we not create some sort of document, some sort of structure online and also in hard copy, which enables us to capture all of their profiles? We thought about all these things and we said, I think it's important. We got to do this. So I'd like to say thank you for the opportunity, but I'd like to challenge you and show you something that we did. Yeah, that's me, by the way, but I'd like to show you a sample of the journey that we're taking as the Rotary Club of Kampala Sese Islands towards telling stories. And we've created our version of the Rotary Legacy Project. Now, it's a book, but at the same time, it's going to be digital. It's going to be able to capture each and every single thing that we've talked about. And just have a quick look at it. You can sidebar me and we can discuss how we can work with your particular club. But the essence of it is everything that we've noticed, each and every single one of these stories here, we must find some way of putting these stories out there so that we can tell them and people in the future can be able to, one, take in. So have a quick look. This is what the cover page looks like. Then we have got the table of contents. Then you've got all the past presidents, all 30 of them. And then we have got, oh yes, profiles, each and every single Rotarian in the club. Right now we are, I think, scratching 110, 111, and we are profiling each and every single one, every single year, pictures of past projects. That entire list of everything that we mentioned is captured on the inside. And guess what? It's available online. Anybody will be able to download it from anywhere in the world. It'll never be able to be eaten by cockroaches, or my kids poured drinks on it, or someone stole it. No. So it's going to be available for generations to come. And it'll be able to impact communities and above all, shed light, a positive light on what we are doing as Rotarians. E-club of Ntinda, I'd like to thank you all for your time. I'd like to thank all the Rotarians and Rotaractors. My name is Dr.Mitch Egwang. I am a proud Rotarian and a member of the Rotary Club of Kampala Sese Islands. God bless.
Thank you, bravo, Rotarian Dr. Mitch Egwang. Great presentation, beautiful, as always. You never disappoint. Sometimes I wish you had gone to the school and not gone to Namilyango, but that's a story for another day. I'll hand it back to Rotarian Barbara for the Q&A session.
Okay. Thank you, President. If you have questions, please raise your hand or just write it in the chat room. And thank you so much, Dr. Mitch, for that very inspirational talk. I think we really need one of those. So any questions, please raise your hands. I'm not seeing any hands yet. Oh yeah, VP Lubega, can you please unmute and ask your question?
Thank you, President. And thank you, Mitch, for that presentation. I think it's a great idea. My question, it goes around editing this information once it's uploaded. Is it a living document that is uploaded every now and then? Or especially the magazine or the ones in hard copy, do we have to bring it back for editing? What do we do once we get on board? I thank you. And just to tell the president, Yefuge, we went to school, and Namilyango is the only school around here. Nothing else. Thank you.
Thank you, Simon Peter. Any other questions? I'm looking at the chat room. CP Kate, would you care to share more about what you are doing for RSC Sunday?
Thank you very much, moderator, and thank you, President. Good morning, friends. We have started the process of documenting our story, and we did actually start from the time we started archiving whatever important information, photographs, and any historical moments of the club. now we are at a stage of trying to put that together into a little book. And I really like the idea that Mitch has shared to profile our members. But I would like to add that I think we also profile the growth of the club as it happened, so that we see that continuum of growth, who came when. We are also going to be doing who brought who sponsored who tree, which we already have. We've done that for the last 2 years. So we want to see what kind of kinship tree our club looks like, so that everybody knows who their parent is, who their grandparent is, who their great-grandparent is. One time I posted that in the chat room, and I was discussing this in the chat with Rotarian Dana Kagere, and she was very surprised to find that the one who sponsored her was sponsored by me, and I automatically became her grandmother. So it was a fun moment for us. But I really like the idea of us being able to document and profile whatever we do for posterity, because one time we had a visit from Rotary Club of Kampala. We just wanted to know their story. And so the presentation was an eye-opener. The pictures were amazing. The pictures of that time and now, you can just see how people have changed, even in looks, how the club has transformed. It was very, very exciting and eye-opening. So we will be working with a committee, and Mitch will reach out to you just to kind of have a chat to discuss how we can do this better. Thank you very much for the opportunity, and nice to be here. Namilyango is the college, by the way. Thank you.
Thank you, CP Kate. Can we hear from David Semakula? And then maybe Rotarian Mitch, you can just add on to that.
I'm happy to hear that Kate is saying Namirango is the college, so she's an Ogi there. Okay, leaving that apart. Thank you, Dr. Mitch. There is, in fact, a bigger gap than what you are talking about. You are talking about member profile and what have you. But my biggest worry across board, not just from my club, Sunrise Kampala, is the archiving of documents. You could find a club where they don't even know whether they are qualified or not. If they are qualified, where are the documents? What happens is that we use the laptops of the president or the admin in charge of the year, and everything remains on that laptop, and that laptop can even collapse and everything is lost. When we get hard copy files, we don't normally do physical handover of documents from president to president. What am I talking about? 10 years down the road, you can't document it, what the club has gone through in terms of documents, what the club is. Dr. Mitch, I wanted you to throw some guidance, not that it is part of the book you are writing or you are putting together, in handling of the documents of the club, especially now. It's when you are any club, very few hard copies. How best can it be done? Dr. Mitch, throw some, or even Kate. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Dr. Mitch, I think you can take on this. Just one question, which is from Rotarian Bukori. He's saying, thanks, Doc. Have you done any provisional impact assessment on these positive ongoing initiatives? So Dr. Mitch, could you please answer that? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Rotarian Barbara. I think I'll start off with Rotarian Lubega's question. You see, what happens is that time moves. Every second that we're here, we are creating history. So it's not possible to do any sort of initiative of this magnitude and assume that it's going to be a one-off. Otherwise, you see, it's going to be dated within a few seconds. What you must do is that you must start the process. But again, also, you must enable yourself and have systems in place to continue updating it. What we are doing as the Rotary Club of Kampala Sese Islands is that we are doing a retrospective analysis. What has happened in the past? But at the same time, we are capturing what's happening today. What are the different activities that we're doing? Like next week, we're heading to Sese Island for our annual outreach. Now, we're going to capture all that information, put it in. But next year, when we hand over to the next board is going to have the responsibility of also adding that information. The good thing is that every time we do this, we keep it in a soft form. And keeping it in a soft format enables you to be able to keep adding. It's just like building a house. Knowing that you're going to have many floors going up, you make sure that the foundation is very strong. So again, also to address the challenge that past President Semakula brought up, that how is it that different clubs now do not have the right archiving systems in place? I think it's a planning thing. I think it must be an intentional structure put in place by the board, ensuring that one, you have an archiving officer, but again, also you must make sure that you have systems in places in terms of each and every single, I think, department. Because if you have from year to year, people handing over files, but we've also seen this, that with e-clubs, if you don't have a lot of digital files, if the hard files, you must have digital files, and don't just keep one copy. And what we've seen other individuals do in different clubs is that they'll have the master file, they'll have one backup and then a secondary backup. So what that does is that on a monthly basis, I will keep giving to the primary and to the secondary backup individual everything that we've generated during the course of that particular month. So that even if my laptop is stolen and I'm in charge of PR or I'm in charge of TRF, guess what? The primary and secondary backups are going to be available in my club. So I think those are very important. I think something else also that Rotarian Bukuri asked a question. Can you probably remind me what was the key interest about his question?
He said, thanks, Doc. Do you have any provisional impact assessment on these positive ongoing initiatives?
Well, I'm going to shock you. Just like you've said, they're ongoing. We set up this initiative in 2017, but because of, you see, COVID and the rest, we had to scale back and wait a bit. It's just this year and last year that we've actually now moved into full gear. This club, this first club, Rotary Club of Kampala Sis Islands, is our pilot. There's no other club in the entire world that has done something of this structure. Having a book detailing not just the club and its history, not every single member, but having a living document which can be updated. And yes, it's going to be something that we'll need to do. But again, also, I think you can see already, if we have more clubs coming on board, and even if they don't work with us as the digital yearbook, but you come up with your own initiative to be able to tell your stories and to archive your information, you're going to see a significant growth, one, in the quality of the members who join your club. You're going to see, one, a lot of impact in the community because more people will understand what Rotary is doing. Do a quick sample study in most of the offices. Ask guys, what does Rotary do? And most guys say, I have no idea. Those guys just, you have to have money to join. Oh, they less like having parties. Oh, I don't know. I have no idea. They are special. But if we had 50% of the 90 clubs in our district, each of them telling stories and inundating the entire digital space with the stories about Rotary, we would make a huge impact.
Thank you, Dr. Mitch. Can you please put up your hands if you have questions? I'm reading from the chat room. This is a comment for you. Great presentation, Dr. Mitch. Do you think many clubs have adequate technical capacity to undertake such a project? If you are to undertake such an assignment, what would be the cost implications? What would the cost implications look like? I believe clubs would consider doing this. Actually, this is important, Mike, just to know how much are we talking about? Because I think that's what scares us. Maybe you could answer that.
Yeah, Rotarian Barbara, I think, thank you very much. Let's start first with the capacity. As Rotarians, a lot of us are just volunteers. My day job, I'm a banker. I'm a doctor. I work in the service sector. very few people understand the amount of effort and energy and the time and resources that are necessary to be able to put together something like this and to make it sustainable. Very true. It does cost money. But again, also, we ask ourselves the question, how much will it cost you to have a club that is 30 or 40 years old and you have no information and you have nothing in terms of institutional, organizational memory? It's going to cost you a lot. So what we've done is that we've come up with a structure. It's actually quite affordable. What we do is that you sit down with the club and you understand how big is your club. And the responsibility is actually passed on to each of the Rotarians. We've done, ballpark, it comes out, depending on the size of your club, to between 80 or 90, maximum around 100, 110,000 shillings per member to document the entire history of the club, no matter how many years your club is, whether it's 30, 40, whether it's 5 or 6. And what that does is that it makes it easy for each of us to contribute. Because if you just make it the responsibility of the board, oh, the board must pay for this, you find that you lack. When we found out that as a club, we get together and each and every person gets excited and says, guess what? Minus giving you my money, my 100,000 for this, I have pictures, I have stories, I have videos from 1987. Oh, I have a picture from the first board. Now, it's more than just putting in money. Everybody now has a sense of co-ownership. So I think that's something which we can discuss with each of the clubs. And even if you don't have the money, you know, there are a lot of clubs who are still struggling right now. We still haven't even paid our dues, but we want to start this process. We can assist you and give you the structure, okay? Consult with you a bit and then help you to be able to start. And once you're in a position and you're ready, then we can take that journey.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Mitch. I'm looking at the time and I see so many comments. Thanking you so much for an amazing presentation, for a unique presentation. Definitely, this is something we're interested in. And I'm handing back to AP Caesar before we have the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Rotarian Barbara. Yeah, it's 8 o'clock. We should be done on the top of the hour. I'll ask the Sergeant to give us another 10 minutes. Sergeant, can you give us 10 minutes?
Granted, President.
Thank you, Sergeant. So I'll ask you to pass on the vote of thanks now before I take it to the Sergeant.
Okay, Rotarian Nelly, can you please give us the vote of thanks? Rotarian Robert, can you please assist?
Barbara, good morning. How are you today? Sorry, I was driving at the time. Dr. Mitch, thank you so much. You sent our heads rolling with this wonderful presentation. You were so eloquent at it, and we have picked and are still picking a leaf. Please don't hesitate to give us a minute of your time to try to understand the dynamics of putting this together. It's very, 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 very interesting what you taught us today. But thank you for your eloquence. The beginning of the fellowship was absolutely amazing. You were on top of your game. And we hope that you can come back to us and educate us a bit more. We're so thankful that Lynn gave us the opportunity to meet with you, and do have a wonderful day, Mitch. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you, Robert. And we're hoping, Dr. Mitch, you can stay for a few minutes after, because we are going into Chimeza, and that's where most of our questions will be coming in. Over to you, President.
Thank you, and thank you, Nairobi Body Group, for putting this together. It was well executed. Let me take it to the Sergeant at Arms.
Thank you, President, and thank you all members on call. We're really grateful having you all on call. And to Dr. Mitch, thank you very much. It was really a wonderful, as a person in media, I would say it was really a wonderful production. For me, I would call it a production because it was indeed a wonderful production. It was well presented. President, I want to thank all members on call. Thank you very much for joining in the call. This is the E-club of Ntinda. So such guest speakers, such like the Dr. Mitch, those are the people who bring. Yeah, Mama Rotarian Lin, Ngawe Simye. Oh, okuzalibwa n'omulungi. Wow, that's great. And Rotarian Lin, thank you for the invite. And for anybody who it's if at all this is your first time to join the E-club, we always have such vibrant guest speakers and such vibrant topics. Thank you very much. And President, before I go to the roll call of clubs, let me repost the list of the clubs which have made it today in the chat, so that if at all your club is missing, kindly register it down, so that we avoid my club has not been mentioned. But President, I want to recognize all the PAGs, all the past presidents, the charter presidents, and President, today we are graced to have the district Rotaract representative of District 9 over District 13. So, and that is Sarah Owembabazi. She's on call. If at all you don't know, you know Rotarians, or you at times you don't know the Rotaract things. This one, she's the governor of the Rotaractors. She's on call. Rotaractor Sarah Owembabazi, thank you very much for storming the E-club. Hope we'll be seeing you again and again every morning. Make this your morning Friday club. So President, with that, in E-club, we have what we dubbed the happy seeds. These happy seeds help us to do, of course, service projects like what we had last Saturday, the BELEP and the juvenile project in Naguru. So these are the happy seeds which help us to run these things. Each happy seed goes for 5,000 shillings. So if at all you give me 2 happy seeds, that's 10,000, like just what Rotarian Barbara has done. She has given us 2 happy seeds to thank Dr. Mitch for this wonderful initiative. Wow, indeed, it's a wonderful initiative. I'm just imagining our charter president to be on the top, on the top of the list, being profiled. Our first president, Caesar, to be there, and PE, everybody to be there. I think it is really wonderful. And as the E-club, these are our things. We're going to take it up. We are an E-club, and we don't think of printing any Dr. Mitch. We are going to do an E1, and it will be out profiling all our members. So Rotarian Barbara has just given me 2 happy seeds. Thank you very much. I'm still welcoming more happy seeds. The number has just been posted in the chat. Just been posted in the chat. Let me repost it again too. It is in the names of Namiro Sarah. Those are the 2 numbers, Airtel and MTN. That's where you can send your happy seeds. We will have Rotarian Doreen Chizito. She's giving in for the wonderful presentation. Anybody else, you can unmute and give me your happy seeds. Feel free and talk to us. Dr. Mitchell, you unmute and talk to us and say hello and give me some happy seeds. Tell me something which has made you happy. That's why we call them the happy seeds. We're sowing seeds of love. And these seeds end up impacting the community. The communities where we serve. Any more happy seeds? Any more happy seeds? In fact, today, the Bade group is in charge. It's no other than the Bade group in charge today. It's Nairobi Bade group. So Nairobi members, people away. Okay, so as I'm waiting for your happy seeds, you can kindly drop them in the chat. I'll be reading them when I'm done with it. But I'm seeing happy seeds. Okay. I'm seeing, yeah, Rotarian Lino do. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Any more happy seats? Proxeda, you are intimidating me. You unmute, you mute, you unmute, you mute. Please talk to me. Stop intimidating me. I'm the sergeant at arms. Okay, I'll go straight to the roll call. As you can post your happy seats, I'm going to recognize them at the end. We've had the Rotary Club of Akasha Sunset, Bujiri, Bugolobi, Buloba, Bujuko, Chireka, Information, Bukoto, Buloba, Bunga, Bwebaja, Bwegere Central, Bwegere Nambole, E-club of Uganda Global, Fort Poto, Gayaza, Guru, Hoima Chitara, Jinja City, Kabale, Kabarore, Kampala, Kasangati, Chisasi Chanja, Chiwatule, Kampala Central, Kampala Debre, Kampala Mahaba, Kampala Maisha, Kampala Metro, Kampala Morning Stars, Kampala Muyenga Breeze, Kampala Nalia, Kampala North, Kampala South, Kampala Sese Islands. Abakitegedde mukikubire mu ngalo ez'amaanyi. Kampala Sese Islands. That's where our Dr. Mitch comes from. Kampala Seven Hills, Chadondo, Chanja Metro, Luvowa, Lugogo Mango Tree, where the great stories are coming from. Machindye, Manyangwa, Muyenga, Nalia States, Nigeria, Nakasero, Namasuba, Namugongo, Nansana, Natete Kampala, Nsanji, Ntinda, our mother club, Ntinda Metro, Rubaga Lakeview, Saturday E-Jazz, seeing more clubs here, Soroti Central, thank you. Thank you. I'm seeing more clubs, more clubs. Soroti Central, and which club? Kasanalu Wero, thank you very much, CP. Samuel Murana, and the Mbara Ranchers, thank you very much. And to all those with the Club of the Day, of course, these people decided to order storm mass, and today it is double maximum. We'll get Nambole. These tsunamis, because today we'll get Nambole. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 Rotarians and 3 guests. They didn't move alone. They came here in order to support Dr. Mitch and the E-club. They are always here. Thank you very much, Wege Nambole, for making it because here they are having the PPs, they're having the PhDs, they're having the future presidents. So they're having their past, their present, and their future. Thank you very much, Wege Nambole. That's the club of the day. And the special club of the day, it is the Rotaract Club of Lake Victoria. Rotaract Club of Lake Victoria, that's where Governor our Rotaracta Java, the governor of the Rotaractors, that's where she comes from, and that is Sarah Owembabazi. Thank you very much, and tell the Rotaract Club of Lake Victoria that in E-club this morning, it's the club of the day. So Chitante, thank you very much. Thank you. So the number where you can send the happy seeds, it has been reposted. I've reposted it again. So you can send all your happy seeds on that number. I'm seeing 4 happy seeds from our Maza. And these are when doing our story, yeah? Because we're going to do it, we're going to make sure that we document it very well. These are the people, our Maza, PG Florence, eh? You started these things. Where Vitandika? 4 happy seeds. Thank you very much. You're supposed to be in the story. Yeah, I'm looking here at the people who are going to be in the story. Please drop your happy seeds so that I can see you. I'm seeing Epi Caesar, 4 happy seeds. For Namiriango, finally getting something right. Wow. Olumbia America, people from Namirianga, yeah, Wajakukuba. The table is shaking, has drinks, yeah. Has expensive drinks. So FPCs are giving us 4 happy seeds for Namiriango having something right. So already they don't have some things. That's interesting. I don't know if I told Namiriango Namilango people are not on call, but they don't always keep quiet. Otherwise, thank you very much, members, for being on call. We really appreciate. And I remain Ivan Seranga, Sergeant at Arms. I submit, President.
Thank you, Sergeant. I didn't think you would read that out loud. I'm already getting inboxes with threats, but yeah, Namilango got it right with Mitch. I'll ask, it's only in order that I ask the AP Justine from Kampala, Sese Island, since our guest comes from there, to give us the final toast. AP Justine.
Thank you, President, for that wonderful presentation from my member. I think it has touched each and everyone who is listening to us this morning. And international.
Rotary world over.
Rotary Wangala. Ivan, wajja omukazi boyogerere buli saawa boyogerere lwaki togambye nti Kampala Stress Islands yesinze wewe
Rotarian Bruce, can you tell us about the camp? Can you tell us about the camp quickly?
Yes, the camping Rotarian is on the 23rd of September to the 25th. Book your tent when it is early enough. Tents are getting over. We are storming Ginger in full swing. Please, if you haven't gotten if you haven't paid yet or gotten your tent, write down this number 0772 978 484. That is CMP Irene Luesa. She'll book your tent. Come and enjoy. Yeah, the
Sergeant, those who can't go to for the camp, let them join us in the islands as we carry out our medical outreach. We are using MV Noded, a new one. So if you are interested, kindly call Rita Nagatansi and join us in Sese.
Lovely. Let's now have the Chimeza. I'll ask Rotarian Barbara to continue with the Chimeza in case anyone wants a one-on-one moment and any other interaction with Rotarian Mitch.
Okay, President, I would like to ask Rotarian Robert to continue in my behalf. I'm stepping into a meeting in the next 10 minutes.
Sure, Robert Paid, please take on the Chimeza.
Caesar, you must be aware. You can't be attacked.
Barbara, did you see my comment on the PPs?
Bruce, now you're in Nyege practicing. Eh?
I am telling you. Chika.
Ate yo sipi maka byayagala.
Oh, maka mbamukute kumutima.
I'm shocked CP Mark is not in Kampala.
You know, there's a man who likes being in Kamodi, Edward Gibson.
Hello, how are you, good people?
Ulire dovozi.
The balance. Mulavie Mkamone, Gibson is here.
Amazing President Caesar, you are a terrible company. If this club knows what you were up to at midnight, they would disown you.
I know
My
him at
brother.
night, Afuka Vampire. At night, Afuka Vampire. I know him.
Sure.
My brother,
Echiro,
Webale
Afuka
Dobozi.
Mulala.
My brother, Webale Dobozi, Okoze Dobozi.
You know, I had to join your fellowship just to know that this club has a problem.
Kasta Rotarian Frederick Chimuli akulira.
My God. Is the CP Charity here?
Gibson Kajambo.
Caesar, you are shaking very expensive tables. I was quiet.
Gibson Kajambo.
CP Charity. There's a big problem. You people didn't mention that Rotarian Mitch is from the Great Lumumba Hall as well.
Oh,
Barbara.
Barbara,
Hi, how are you?
Barbara, get a meeting.
Yeah, I'm leaving for the
Did you
meeting
get my
now, but it was
question?
really great interacting with all of you.
Barbara,
Yes, please.
Pio wants to say his mama before you leave. Pio, over to you.
Wait. Mark, I told you to talk to Barbara. You go through me. Now, you have, you have
That's
wasted,
why I've handed over to you.
You have wasted your saliva.
Friends, good morning, friends.
Rotarian Pompey, you are even
Captain,
having
I'm logging off. Ama represent me. Bye.
Bye, Babs.
Bye. Rotarian Pompey, you even have territories here.
Mama Oguzulu, Mama
Gibson, Edward,
Oguzulu, Mama Oguzulu, Irene Luesa. How are you this morning?
I'm fine, Rotarian Bruce. Good morning to you all.
Irene, your network is for the camp.
Edowozi lyalazeewa tubuulire ku kampu.
Brucey!
There's some people sinalaba.
Brucey!
Irene, network ya camping. These two have started. Rotarian Bruce, public image is here. Public image of the district is here. Hey, she's listening.
CP Charity, my sister, are you going to miss this? CP
But where is Munchkin? Munchkin, why are you quiet?
Bruce.
Wanji?
Mkuongele Charity ngalo last Friday mkuongele.
Mwongele. Irene kano kayiseewo gamba Charity tajja na baana mu kampu. Tajja na baana mu kampu. Ndandinga nga 23 tujja kubeerawo naye tajja mu kampu.
Tetubiriza abaana okuleka nga alina omwana we18 ate bwesisuubira nti alina.
Irene, eddoboozi libadde ki bannange?
It's just romantic. Morning romantic.
That's what you call romantic. All right.
Romantic nga mulimu ebikwakwaya.
Hey, wait. Bruce, Linda, Scott, Caesar. Epi Caesar, please stop the recording.
Hey, nedda, recording.